What up, my freaks? RuinusInsight here with part 14 of my Total War Warhammer 3 modded Fay Enchantress Old World Classic campaign. So as we saw last time, the vaults have nearly been cleared of the Barrow Legion as they are down to one single settlement and about to be wiped out for good, which is decent for us, though unfortunately the Fay Enchantress can't yet move on to fight the Slaneshi and banish them from herein, and has to deal with the rats at the Fester Spike who completely randomly declared war on us, which they will be regretting very, very soon. I'd also love for her to take some of the territory of the Ironclaw Works, but then, yeah, I'm not entirely sure about that. And just because, on the one hand, it is green territory, which would be of use to us, and ooh, this place has both marble and wood. That's 20% construction reduction? Oh, only 10. But still. And Heldegrad is tier 5 settlement. What, oh wow, they're strength fact 6 with 22 settlements. We definitely need an army to actually defend this place, but we can't move the ranged army here because it's busy. This is quite curious. Quite curious indeed. Quite the conundrum, I should say, not curious. Anyway, not important. What is important is, I do believe the only thing we have to do this particular turn is to fight, no, not you, is to fight this little fight here, yeah? Yeah, by the looks of it, yeah. Alrighty. Also, you are not in range yet, are you? Gotta wipe out those broken axes. We are looking to clear both of these factions out this episode. So, let's start with Renee. Now, you, doubtless, will have at least some peasants. I guess the question is how many basic peasants you're gonna have. Probably enough. So we'll go for lowborn militia with you. And I'm going to say, let's get peasant proficiency as well. You don't need muster the farmhands. You probably will eventually want mysticism, but it's not that critical right now. Let's get a rally and into definitely the peasant's duty and to stand your ground. We'll have to grab guided by the lady as well. These guys have all been built up without additional armor from our smithy. However, they've been with us since the very start, and they've ranked up, and I feel like we can evolve them, but I feel like we should keep them, especially since most of them spent all of their time in the Fay Enchantress's army, so I feel like we've all grown attached to them. Is it just me? I don't know. What I do know is that we are attacking Xerexil. Garbage pile of peasants, but we do have Gotrek and Felix in tow that we got last episode. Let's get them the first little bit of XP, shall we? Oh, wait. 1, 2. Do we not have 3 reinforcements? Oh, you're not in range. Just slightly out of range there. Eh, Leonie? Oh, wait. Alrighty, here we go. Renee and her leftovers, i.e. the piles of units from the Fay Enchantress and the other armies that no longer fit in there. They have high veterancy, at the very least, and that would allow us to upgrade them, retrofit them, if we should so desire. We'll have to give that some thought. Anyway, the one nice thing that we do have in this army is the Defenders of the Fleur-de-Lis Knights Errant, and they're going to have to put in a lot of work here. And they damn well better. They have a great color scheme, and they damn well should make good use of it. Alrighty. Gotta look good while charging through the ranks of enemies. There we go. Enemy after enemy. A couple of nice charges. Like so, through the entire enemy army. And the damage isn't anything crazy, mind you. They are only Knights Errant after all, but 24k damage for a single charge. It ain't too bad. We're not expecting the same kind of performance out of them as from a unit of Grail Knights after all. Ooh, hopefully the Banner Man doesn't die. Once again, I'm wondering, what happens if the unit that's carrying the banner dies? So, is that unit... I've never actually seen it happen, the banner holding a unit fall. But perhaps it will happen, we'll see. Anyway, these guys in their lovely color scheme are certainly putting in the work and charging the enemy over and over again, while the first of the enemy units have arrived at our battle lines. Gotrek and Felix have arrived on field themselves as well, though alas, they gotta walk here, and that's going to take a while, admittedly. I would have preferred for Gotrek and Felix to take down the enemy Vampiress here, who is apparently going after one of our Grail relics, while being surrounded by the peasant mobs. But frankly, the Bretonnians should probably, to some degree, be used to dealing with vampires. Not that the peasantry know what vampires are, really, but just in general, Bretonnia. Bretonnia is basically a playground for vampires. It's just fantastic. But anyway, the charges will continue, and we're up to 153 kills now and 45,000 damage. Very solid. Alright, back across the entire enemy army, but with only a single one of these Knights Errant units, we just can't do enough work to destroy the enemy army with just the Knights, so the Peasants are definitely going to have to fight here. Ooh, and Godric is on his way. The Peasant mobs have only done about 30% damage to the Vampire. And actually, I'm willing to bet that that damage was not from the Peasant mobs so much as it was probably from the fire arrows being occasionally fired at the enemy hero. At least damn it, my bad. I clicked through instead of at Godric, who is now on field and is going to whack away at the enemy hero if he can make it through the piles of peasants and now men-at-arms, which have made their way forward. Hey, there we go. Alrighty, now our player should have a massive advantage against the enemy, even at level 1. I mean, he's got pretty solid stats for this sort of thing. And Felix is here as well, getting knocked aside by Godric. And if I know my Godric and Felix books, so that probably saved his life, while Godric took the kill and the vampire's head. With the vampire has fallen, it looks like only the enemy necromancer remains, though a number of skeletons and graveguard are still fighting in the center. And hey, there's the... Oh, the banner carrier goes down! I was just talking about that. And I just want to see, does anybody new lift up the banner? No. Okay, so for the rest of the battle, the unit no longer has the banner carrier. Neat. I like that. I like that a lot. Oh, I can't believe it happened exactly when I was talking about it. I assume it will have happened in the past and past battles previously as well. I just didn't notice it because I was, busy enjoying the glorious charges. Anyway, the skeletons and graveguard have damaged the peasant mobs now severely enough that the peasant mobs are going to back off behind the main line, having lost about 50% of their HP, but the men-at-arms remain at full health. And there we go. It's basically a strategy that the vampires themselves put to good use all the time, tiring the enemy out with their trash like zombies, followed by skeletons, and then only then bringing in the elites, like the graveguard and stuff like that. So a little bit of a taste of their own medicine here, and a few more hits from Godric and Felix to bring down the last of the enemy graveguard on field. Enemy necromancer felled by the arrow fire, and the victory ours. Alright, there we go. No problem at all, especially with the defenders of the Fleur-de-Lis acting as our ringers, disrupting the enemy formation. Obviously not dealing the craziest amount of damage compared to battles previous, but certainly more than enough. We got 22k or 21k out of Renee as well with her Flocks of Doom, and a little bit of work out of Godric, who slew the enemy vampiress. Lovely. We will occupy the place, and with that, this faction is destroyed. Confident Attacker, Vampire Slayer, and Opal Amulet. I think I've been giving these to friars. I don't remember. Actually, we got... wait, is the guy that got assassinated has one. Hugo Le Petit has the other one. A decent option on a friar, or maybe even a faceless, because if they get into a fight, they are going to be in danger. Obsidian Amulet, or Trinket rather, is kind of weak, but we don't have anything to... Yeah, we don't have anything to turn it into anything better, unfortunately. Oh well, it is what it is. Oh, alright, and another smuggler. Can't go wrong with more smugglers. Province secured. It also makes sense that we keep getting smugglers with all the brigands we've got. Anyway, Realm of Chivalry. Ooh, we get to keep the Marble Quarry at Xerixel. Nice. Get it up to tier 3 as fast as possible, which means prioritize upgrading the town here, which we could do if only we had enough money. Well. Let's see if diplomacy will afford us some cash. Do we finally go for the non-aggression pact with Zifbar? Nope, they're still too poor.
What can the Dowie do?
Though we could easily get a trade agreement out of them for it. The problem is that the Wood Elves would get huffy about it. Yeah. And they're already not super happy about us being friendly with Reichland. Huh, you know what we should do? We should send one of our lords near the Langenfeld camp and see if we can't buy a few ogre mercenaries. Depending on what level this camp is, maybe we could get something useful out of it. Otherwise, we could try to send a lord out this way. And we don't need to... Huh. What's the fastest way to get there? I guess like this? Like this? I wonder how long it would take to travel through the territory and then go up like this. Not entirely sure, but anyway. Let's see. Daughters of the Forest. I think we've already seen these guys this turn, which is probably why I don't have the extra cash that I wanted here. Cult of Sotek. We could do the defensive alliance with them before they die. Tratio really wants that military alliance, but I think not. I think not. Again, there are wood elves at Caesarea Wood, and how much money would they give us for this? Solid 4.3k. Nothing crazy, but something to think about. And the Drowned want peace. Funnily enough, we kind of inadvertently saved Lewin because the Drowned essentially were... well, they were the ones that destroyed him with a little bit of help from the Warherd of the Shadow gave, and then we're moving southward with their two main stacks, which promptly got mobbed and obliterated by the giant piles of wood elves here that came out of Athaloran, I sort of accidentally sicked on them. It actually worked out reasonably well for us, which is kind of neat, though. Anyway, I believe that's how we got this turn. Yes, alright, so let's skip, and I guess end the turn. We really need that cash while we still have 6 more turns left of infrastructure. Ooh. Yeah, I somewhat regret over-recruiting, but at the same time we need more armies in every direction, especially this direction, which is iffier and iffier by the turn, so yeah, it is what it is. And the turn. And while the turn is ending, once again, the engagement threshold remains. If we get 350 likes and 60 comments and maintain that streak, we will do another double episode, either today or tomorrow, depending on if it has not yet worn out its welcome. No military alliance. At least not at this time. Alright, Drowned are moving. None of this is relevant. Who would be relevant in terms of watching the moves right now? Basically Deathmaster, Snitch, and nobody else. I suppose if the Ironclaw Works declared war on us... Oh, Clan Fester, technically speaking, might try to ambush us? What is this? Broken Axe is attacking Carcassonne. We just... Huh? Am I crazy, or did we not destroy their last army with Grom last turn? Where did these guys all come from? I'm not understanding where these guys are from. You're not telling me they built all of these guys, or did they retreat? I thought we destroyed them. Huh. I'm not entirely sure. Well, I suppose it doesn't matter over much. They're about to be destroyed anyway, plus we need the additional little bit of XP on all of our brigands. Go. Alright, once again, every time. I always expect the speech from the Crownless and never get it, but that's okay. As I was starting to say, actually I hadn't even begun to start to say, but anyway, I completely forgot about this army's existence, and that is somewhat surprising considering they have 2 trolls, 2 giants, and armored squigs and black orcs, some very solid units, as well as pump wagons, which as we know are pretty overpowered. So yeah, not something to just be letting run around. Fortunately, Bertrand and this other little crownless lord, and we'll hopefully take them out for our trouble, or their trouble, or somebody's trouble. They're gonna die is what I'm getting at. Anyway, armored squigs move on in, have actually found our... Huh, really? The armored squigs are only tier 2? Oh, but the upgrades they get, they're very, very solid. Go figure. Anyway, the armored squig hoppers, I should say, have surrounded our crownless lord, but the Écorchés, whatever these guys were called, Écorcheurs, have arrived, and these are the twin blades, supposed to be used against infantry, mind you, and looking a lot fancier. In fact, looking fancier than our men-at-arms, I would say. Go figure. These guys are really fancy looking for some outlaws. Maybe they got to go to the Empire, and then their minds were blown by citizens actually having rights, and you know, and a more sort of industrialized gear production or armor and weaponry and whatnot. But anyway, I digress. They look fancy. Let's see how well they perform. Huh, are they also bigger, or do the other brigands just slouch? No, I think they're the same size. Anyway, fancy or not, and they need to put in the work. In the meantime, we've got the enemies moving towards us, but because our lord was hidden and most of the other units were actually reinforcements, as in Bertrand's army came in as reinforcements, the enemy army did not know where we were, so they sort of started rushing out in all directions looking for our hidden units, which is not working so well for them because it means their units are moving in one by one. We are going to have all of our range units target the enemy giant and lower his armor soon, or if I've already done so, yes. I'll lower the armor with waylay, and minus 30 brings it down to a mere 5, which allows our units to bring it down rather quick, even with the massive missile resistance buffs that giants are given in SFO. He'll crush a few more of the poor peasantry beneath his bulk, but, well, that's just the peasant's life and death. Orcs have arrived, boys, and I believe black orcs as well, though we are targeting the black orcs with our great axes, and the black orcs are down to half HP, not only being surrounded by 2 units of great axe wielding brigands with their armor piercing, but also having their damage reflected upon them thanks to Shield of Thorns. I like how we're countering the monstrous black orcs and have done so several times with their super thick armor, with a bunch of brigands with crude axes here. It's real nice. This is what Warhammer's all about. Common man versus horrific monstrosities, at least by comparison. I mean, obviously the black orcs aren't demons, but I mean, compared to a peasant, they may as well be. Especially with that super thick armor that they've got. Well, not that it's helping them here. There we go. The axes have taken them down. And the fact that the brigands' axes break through the black orcs' armor is exactly why heavy weapons are forbidden to Bretonnian peasants, because the nobles know that if they get access to those and crossbows and such, they probably won't have a good time. Anyway, the bounce power shifts about 95% in our favor, with the black orcs having disappeared, enemy units being run down by our brigand raiders, who have also silenced any enemy range units, and by the looks of it, with that, the enemy army shatters, and the battle is ours. Unsurprisingly, a reasonably quick fight, as it was very much in our favor due to the enemy being outnumbered. And I don't think any of them, or at the very least very few of them, are going to escape this one. Nice. There we go, poor little god. Alrighty, another nice little fight. The 2 giants got pincushioned by and large, and so did the trolls, while the black orcs were hacked apart by our great axes, who admittedly did take damage, but at the same time, once again, I managed to dish it out. We will once again take the money, because we have to solid work out of our brigand raiders as well. They need their XP to upgrade to Erimo Chasseur, so we'll just have to wait until then. Confederation between the Crooked Moon and the Moon Howl is probably too far away for us to give a damn about. And, oh, confederation between the Urson Revivalists and the Great Orthodoxy, huh. Well, that's actually fine, because the Great Orthodoxy were getting obliterated, and I would imagine the Urson Revivalists are a fair bit stronger. Hopefully they can, survive. That would be just great. And it looks like no further attacks on us this turn, or did we already pass Clanfest, or you want a military alliance? Just wait, just relax. Everybody relax. So, what did I just say? Well, you were included in every... Oh, for the love of... damn you, Southern Realmers. And again, they are holding a lot of good territory down there. We'll see if any of them directly declare war on the Wood Elves. I'm pretty sure the Wood Elves were just don't like them very much. If they're not fighting, though... Oh, actually they are fighting. Is fighting 3 of these factions, and they're disliked by the others. I don't know, man. Enemy killed in battle, smuggler for Maid Marianne, and Feastmaster's right. Oh, damn it, Empire. Or, oh, I wasn't even Empire, it was the Templehof. Okay, fair enough. I wanted that camp to stick around, assuming that they had a camp. And A, charity is completed, a servant, a toll keeper. I assume you already have a toll keeper.
My site is yours.
Yes. 10% income from all buildings in the local province, considering how much money this province generates. So actually, speaking of this province, let's upgrade Maragliano to the next tier. But with the extra toll keeper, it might actually benefit us to get another one of the prophetesses in this particular territory, and increase the money via that toll keeper. Eventually. For now, though, I guess River Brienne is the option, so we'll go to Inez, and we will give her the toll keeper, at least for now. And then if later we need to swap it out, we'll swap it out. What do we have? A servant for a tech thief, a gleaming pennant, and that's it. Okay, well, we need more ancillaries. 2 more turns until the sacred pool is completed, eh? Alright, and ooh, Deathmaster Snitch. Again, this is why we did not attack the Slaneshi, because we couldn't until Deathmaster Snitch was dealt with. So, that is about to be the thing that we're dealing with. Next up, we want to get, I did want to get that Battle Pilgrim upgrade, and ooh, upkeep protection for all non-knight units. Now that's nice. That's knights. Well, not, well, actually it's not knights, but you know what I mean. That's not very knights. I'll stop. I am tremendously dumb. Anyway, what do we have to build for us here? We could do another one of the decrees via Valor. Research cost, base research cost, 400. We still wouldn't get enough. Damn it, alright. I was hoping to do one of these, but no. I would like to do... not the Anti-Wood Elves decree, for obvious reasons. I guess we'll do the High Seas decree, Vampire Coast. It's not like they like us very much, and it's not like they ever will. Alright, let's do that. Then, Caravans, we have got 3 more turns until Gold Influx, so we will still have infrastructure up and running. And I'd love to steal tech, but I think it's actually more important to upgrade these settlements that we can, like the Duchy capital here. Wait, let me just see which places are important. Ooh, Xerexil was important as well, because of the marble. And reducing costs here, all told. Altogether, whatever. Cassid Citizen, we will most likely... Huh? What are you doing? Did he... Are the dwarfs... Wow, what the heck? What is this? Look at this. Giant pile of plate clock catapults, a giant pile of bolt throwers. Interesting choices all around, I'd say. You go after Borgzap Scruttle. An interesting name, to be sure. Borgzap will doubtless run away. I wonder if these guys lost the main stack. Are you still able to reach Borgzap? You are. Though I'm willing to bet you will not be able to heal next turn, so if we auto-resolve it, how much damage will we take? Oh man, I think we may have to. Just because we might get ambushed next turn. We might have to manually fight this. Just real quick, have the Grail Guardians go in and kill all the catapults. Sorry about this, guys, but it is absolutely necessary. It'll take 1 minute. I just don't trust the auto-resolve, especially since the auto-resolve has a tendency to favor artillery. With 5 of them present here, there's a decent likelihood we'd take massive casualties on our peasantry. And we're gonna need them for the next fight, I'd wager, because I'm 99% sure that's gonna be a tier 5 settlement at Fester Spike with a full stack. Heck of a lot of rats to fight is what I'm getting at. Anyway, you all back off, and you all move forward. You move forward as well. This is going to be silly, but it is what it is. Fay Enchantress, in fact, you can Vanguard deploy, so go all the way out here. And I believe that's it. Go. Alright. And you go here. You go here. You guys go here. I don't really care. And why did you stop? Oh, the enemy Grey Seer disappeared. Fair enough. Let us do one of these. Like so. And you know what? You go out here. Alright, and we can take the opportunity to do a small heal on one of the paladins, which was damaged. Let us also increase, well, I was about to say everybody's attack. Also drop a, drop a comment of Cassandora, but we don't want to accidentally hurt our Grail Guardians, so let's wait on that. Enemy Lord is dead.
Enchantress.
And we'll heal you. There's the comet. Direct impact to our lord there. And the battle should be done. There we go. Obviously silly, but yeah, I think we all can agree that we can't be trusting the auto-resolve, because that's just plain bad idea. And especially since it's not gonna like all those peasants. Wait. What am I? Oh, right, we don't need to chase. This army had already retreated. It's a force of habit sort of thing. Alright. 1,000 troths, and this is Borgzep Scruttle, unfortunately. I say unfortunately because it's Bilefitch we want. We'll complete like 4 missions if we get Bilefitch. Oh, I'm gonna be so salty if he tries to, for example, run away or underway stance away and the dwarfs get him or something. Honestly, I'd get so annoyed I'd probably just straight up kill that dwarfen army if that happened. Alrighty, and what do we have here? Free Sword of Strife. Nice. We will... What does it will take the money? What's the likelihood that executing the captives will allow us to reach Bilefitch? Low, I'm gonna say it's not gonna happen. Ransom captives. And yeah, no, that wouldn't have allowed us. Court Jester, Julian Paquette, ranked up in a province with high corruption. That's great. We'll probably need to transfer it over to you before we attack the Slaaneshi, although admittedly you're attacking the Slaaneshi as well. Actually, as I recall, wait, what do we have here? Yeah. This is rising. It's only 53, but still iffy. Anyway. You're gonna have to sit here. I would assume Bilefitch is not gonna attack us. You might try to go for Faster Spike, but we're just gonna have to wait and see. Let's see what else we've got this particular turn. So Bertrand, you are heading to Black Chasm, and I imagine, yeah, these guys are finally heading there themselves, but we beat them all to it. And we will clear this place out. Let's go to Black Chasm now, in regular stance. And continue waiting the 8 million billion turns for our hero to come back up. You can reinforce. And you can, I think, reinforce as well, but have to do in March stance. Alright, fair enough. Everybody leech that XP. Although I would like to actually double check that there isn't a interesting Crownless Lord. Doesn't look like it, okay. Then... how much would it cost to upgrade you? Rank 5, 400, not anything horrible. You're supposed to upgrade to our first Waylayers, so let's do that. And you two are supposed to upgrade to our first Arimo. We'll do that. Like so. Yes. And then you guys are... it's gonna take a while. Maybe get to it. Now, could this possibly be auto-resolvable? I think we all know that we did defeat them. We don't need Peasant's Duty in this particular army, and we don't need Chivalric Code or Protectors of the Realm. But we are very much Protectors of the Realm here. Let's grab Scavenge Weapons, because it probably increases our auto-resolve capabilities. And then, let's take a look. Heroic Victory, and it'll kill off the Proletariat. Oh wow, they do have Black Orcs and Biggins and some Trolls. Alright, fair enough, fair enough. We can fight that. Let's lose... I was about to say... let's lose the War Banners on you guys and put it on the Arimo, but these guys actually need the XP, so they should have it. The War Banner, I mean. As we should prioritize attempting to get them to level up. Anyway, this is a minor settlement? No, it's a field battle. Oh, they're screwed then. If this was a minor settlement... no, they still would have been screwed. Go. Alrighty, here we go, the last of the Broken Axe, and we got our new Arimo upgrades, which are also looking pretty darn great. Yeah, I'm really digging the Brigand units once again. We'll see how effective they are, but judging by their capabilities, they look pretty darn effective. They're decent melee combatants, and their weapon strength is surprisingly high, actually, at 57? Actually, I feel like that's way too high for an archer unit. Why do they hit almost twice as hard as a foot squire does? Granted, less armor piercing, but still, that's really hard. Huh. Slaneshi giggle. But anyway, perhaps, oh, it's probably though because they're buffed to some degree by Bertrand here. But anyway, speaking of Bertrand, he's going to launch his black arrow into the black orcs who get poisoned by it and have the slow death upon them, speed reduced as well as damage being taken. Enemy units are booking it towards us, and we're going to slow them down with the non-overcast dwellers below here, primarily to get some use out of the well, slowing aspect of it, and additional use out of the archers, while we need to rack up the additional XP on the units that have not yet been trained up to the next tier. So here come those brigands with axes, which I've been so enjoying. Also, we didn't take a look at the waylayers, did we? So the Bretonnia People's Front are our first waylayers. Yeah, there we go. Looking a little bit more fancy, but not as fancy as the twin blade variant of units. These guys are a little bit too fancy. They just look like a straight up Bretonian, some kind of ranger unit. Their clothes are too clean, their color is too bright. But anyway, not important. They're not going to have a good time rather, with the trolls crashing into them. They are anti-infantry, and they are rather fragile as well. You've got to remember that regardless of the high damage that all the outlaws units put out, they're rather low HP compared to other units like men-at-arms, and will not be able to hold the line for long, so you do have to be rather careful with them. On the bright side, though, our piles of brigand raiders, which are still working away at trying to get upgraded into units of Verimo Chasseur, are doing a great job at knocking out those poor piles of orc error boys, especially with the bonus versus infantry that these guys have in their twin blade fast attacks. These guys are pretty much perfect for annihilating enemy bow units. Ooh, and it does look like an enemy units of Orc Biggins actually turns to try to help the Error Boys against all of our Brigand Cav. Unfortunately, that means turning their backs to all of the arrow fire coming out of the Erimo and the Bowmen of Bergerac and our crossbows. I'm gonna put the crossbows in some other army as well. They're actually inferior to the men-at-arms with bows, but I like the sort of, have them just by virtue of wanting the additional variety. Anyway, once again, I have decided that I like the Bowmen of Bergerac heroes better in melee than I like them in range, as they seem to do more damage, so we just sent them to quickly defeat the enemy Black Orc Big Boss, who is now booking it on out of there. And with him retreating, the last of the broken axe are well and truly broken, and the battle is ours. And wait, do we need to chase them down here? Well, I suppose we can. Alright, there we go. Very nice indeed. And hey, we got to level 20, a little bit of money, and let's see, Le Bourret and the Proletariat are able to upgrade. And you, wait, no, you are not, no, you are rank 5. Okay, so we're good. Wait. This is rank 5. Isn't that rank 4? Huh. I don't know. Rank 4. Rank 5. Whatever. I suppose it doesn't matter over much. We will almost tempted to sack it, but we can still get to see how much value we can derive from it in terms of trading. Actually, this thing will give us basically nothing back. This thing, however, will return 600 gold, and that thing will be worth it if we trade it. Next, we were going to trade Barrows of Quilla, most likely for Laguier. I do, however, want to double check that Castle Quinel and Laguier are worth the same amount. So Laguier is worth 10, and Castle Quinel is worth 10. Okay, so they're exactly the same. All right, beautiful. Laguier for Barrows of Quilla, yes. Like so. And whatever money you can spare.
Very well.
Thank you. Lovely. And then next turn, we will... Province secured Barrows of Quilla. Oh, right. We traded the Barrows of Quilla, but we got the province of the Barrows of Quilla. I was like, what? Oh, that broke my brain there for a moment. Demolish building, and I guess we'll want to upgrade this town immediately. Go for the Realm of Chivalry, and then we'll upgrade other stuff later on. You can immediately switch to... I'm gonna say start with the fields. Get as much growth here as possible so that we can take as much advantage of the infrastructure growth as possible. Ally loses outpost, we don't care about that. Ally Chasm, we will trade you. And I'm still toying with the idea of making Bertrand's army all ranged army, because if we give him, for example, a couple of faceless men, and then give him, like, at least 2 aspirant hoods, maybe more, then we won't have too much room for other things other than Arimo. But I'll think about it. At the very least, I wanted the... well, these guys could still be Arimoshia. So, the only problem is that they don't have stock, which I don't like. And I like the idea of this entire army being stocking. Oh. So long story short, I haven't decided yet. Renee, you are... I was about to say you are fine. And in a way you are, but you will have to now, I think, retreat to our main territories, because you need a retrofit. Or I guess we could... it's a lot of travel time that way, though. Since you are in need of a retrofit and you can't fight, we could send... Oh! Oh, it's a rebel faction, okay. We could send you around to help Meline d'Outremer for now. Maybe that's the best way to do it. Alright, go up here. I mean, either way, we have to get out of this territory, so all of you, march on. And we have to figure out where exactly we'll want to send Godric and Felix. I mean, for now, they can stay with Renee or one of these armies, and then, you know, I'd like to once again put them on a caravan or something. You. Franciscus, you're going to fight in a second, but let's see what else we've got this turn before we do. Inez and Verna are fine. Luen has just moved. Fleur is... Oh, yeah, that's you. You're fine. Whoa, 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 whoa. Pegasus. No Pegasus. No, 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 no. I can't believe we were paying for that. Verna, yeah, see, that's what happens. That's what happens if you don't pay attention. That's, like over 100 gold per turn on those. Agnes, you're supposed to be on that. You have nothing. Okay, Jolene, you are getting a new army, with the troops there very much close to being available. Agnes, you're supposed to go into this army as well. As soon as it's done moving at any rate. Come on now. Alright. Replenish troops. Good. Then, I would like to see... Okay, first of all, you are going this way. Leo Armistead is going this way, and... Oh, of course, now we get the frickin' strategist... now we get the frickin' strategist faceless. Oh, just gonna need another one of these. The Vanguard deployment aspect is useless, but having tacticians stand your ground available on the heroes is really quite nice. The campaign movement range is also useless, but it would be nice on Lord. You are useless. You guys we will ignore for now. And you guys we will ignore for now. What about heroes? Friars. Hey, another fleet-footed friar. I might get you on the field or I might wait. Just depending on how much money we have remaining at the end of the turn, to be fair. We do have another Shrouded in Mist, which is great. Rejuvenator, Visage of the Lady, and we still have that Sanctified one. Probably gonna get you on field, to be honest. Just, you know, you cost 2.3k, so just give it a minute. Alright, is that everybody that needs to move other than the tech thieves? Just to double check. Leon, you are waiting for recruitment, which is nearly there, so just sit there. Leo, you're in the same situation. Wait, we have Leonard, Leo, Leon. Lots of derivatives. Yeah. Is Lewin as a name related to this name, or is maybe they're all just naming their kids something close to Lewin without directly naming it Lewin? I don't know. Whatever, not important. What is important is that... I was about to say that we continue recruiting, but that's not actually what's important because we may not have the money to do so. Just give me a minute then. Let's see building. Alright, so Paravent Road, Licoris is our new territory that we are ignoring, so we will continue ignoring it. Deravan Libra, I'm going to trade away just because the border horrifies me. Novelon Pass, you're fine. Mass Forcal, we're going to trade you. Golf de Bidouze, you... I mean, we could upgrade you. More than I'd like to pay for this right now, though. And, ooh, yes, definitely get the water wheel. No doubt about that. And Kazad Citizen, I think we're free to demolish this. Yeah, just demolish. We're fine. Glamboriel, yeah, alright, let's upgrade the Summer's Fall 410. Hey, we actually do have a little bit of money remaining. Isn't that lovely? And next, no, 2 turns. Okay, we gotta make sure that we have 10k available for Sacred Lakes, you know, as soon as we can. Then... Diplomacy check. Zufbar now. What is it with Zufbar? None of this. None of this.
Yes.
None of the one. No, yes, this. Arson Revivalist. Ooh. Tursith is ready, finally. They've been the holdouts amongst the Wood Elves. Now there is only one Wood Elf faction that is not our ally.
What?
And I definitely want Kislevite units, so we will definitely do this.
We are stronger.
And this is probably going to give us a vision of 1,000,000 enemy factions, but it is what it is. And... no military alliance.
The Empire.
Alrighty. Generally speaking, what I've been so far doing is military alliances with all the Wood Elves, because Fay Enchantress, and some military alliances with the Bretonnians, with the exception of Marienburg here, because I figure it is dead. So, you know, like it's got one territory left. Yeah, and I don't think it's surviving. I've never seen the Dark Elves occupy Marienburg, though. It's pretty cool. What else do we have here? Trontio South Confederacy. I love how much money they're willing to pay us for this. But right now I'll have to hold off. But in an emergency, we could pick up that cash as needed. Alrighty, then... there are two things we want to do. First of all, do we have... okay, not enough allegiance with Talzin. What about Kavarok? Now, I was looking to get those Sisters of the Thorn, together with some Mary Mo and some other stuff. Just...
Lord of Bretonnia.
trust me. Anyway, what else do we have room to recruit then? We definitely need more Knights Errant, but they are somewhat expensive to recruit. Actually, not that expensive to recruit. Let's do Knights Errant. I did want one Grail Knight, like a regular Grail Knight unit, to get Renee. I think she's earned it. So we'll get one regular Grail Knight, and that's all the room this army has, well, room for. Though, what we can do is use Leon the Bell, and spread the word stance, incidentally, to, first of all, pick up the mounted yeomen, which are going to be in your army. Pick up the... what the blessed field trebuchets? In a moment. Pick those up. You're recruiting these guys. Then you... alright, let's do this. You are going to go into... spread the word. You are going to transfer to him Wildwood Rangers. And I think that's it. Oh, actually, you know what? And no, not the blessed field trebuchets. Let's do this. Like so. Alright. Did I check paladins? Yeah. Don't care for either one of those. Alrighty, then you guy are fine. You're waiting for another wood elf. But otherwise, we are looking pretty okay. You can get another brigand with great axes. Again, they need to be evolved, so that's fine. And that's all the room we have recruitment for right now. Alright, fair enough. I'm trying to remember if I needed anything else. Well, you know what? I'll try to remember between the episodes, if that makes any sense. Anyway, that's the recruitment, which means we do actually have a little bit of money remaining. Minus the fact that we still need to save the 10k, but it would allow us to upgrade, for example, Guaniar, which we will need to upgrade eventually. Not Der Van Libre, though, to kill the Border Gore, I might trade it back to these guys. If only we could get... yeah, maybe I will get that mod, assuming that the Red Duke doesn't take Tourist Vigilance. Because then we could trade Tourist Vigilance to Bordelot Errant to fix their border. Or Der Van Libre, which would also fix these guys' border. And it all makes sense. Wouldn't that be lovely? In the meantime, though, we got a Deathmaster Snitch. Well, let's bring him some death. He likes that sort of thing, or so I hear. Let us get... I'm gonna say Aura of the Lady. I assume you're gonna have a spellcaster or two. Eshin Sorcerer and Eshin Sorcerer. Yes, you are. Ooh. Nothing guns, poison, and mortars. Should be fun. Friar. Shield of Faith, obvious. And I believe you are good to save the points for the rest of the stuff. Alright, Deathmaster Snitch. These guys are not ready to level up. Let us... oh, I also forgot we need to steal tech. Alright, so let's steal tech from here. 68. Failure, come on. Alrighty, what about you? Steal tech? Yes, we do need to still do that. You, Matahari, go back to Durango. Wait, there should be tech thieves here as well. You, La Femme Nikita here, and there should be one more thieving damsel up here, like so.
What is your behest? I have seen your
Alright, and what do we have here? Oh man, the poor Carrick and Horn dwarfs, they're getting absolutely annihilated. Crushed between Durthu and Gorbad Ironclaw. It's not a great place to be. But anyway, let's check if we can defeat Deathmaster Snitch. Is he gonna run? He's gonna run. Shouldn't have moved here. Alright. The ambush worked just by hiding our army. Pyrrhic victory, casualties. That's an interesting one. A Pyrrhic victory, but low casualties? Huh. Curious. Yeah.
Today, the lance will end what they're fully began.
Alrighty, here we go. Oh, the lance will end what their folly began. That's what they're saying. Alright, fair enough. Here we go. I've been enjoying this army so far. Though, funnily enough, if we get confederations working, and, I mean, if they're not just fixed by one of the mods, again, I figured out that it was an old world issue, and if it is not fixed, I might just get a mod to forcibly confederate. I don't want to confederate everybody anyway, but since the techs are missing and they are part of the gameplay, we should at the very least probably confederate the minor dukedoms, so I'll just get a mod to force the confederation if needed. Anyway, what's important, or what I was starting to say, is that this particular army is basically the type of army that Alberic wants. Minus the Beaslayers of Bastan, so what I might do later on is just transfer this stuff to Alberic and let him, you know, do his thing. Because Alberic likes, well, he buffs up Foot Squires, and he buffs up Knights of the Realm, and that's what we're going for. And if we do that, then we can actually keep the Questing Knights, Regiment of Renown, the Companion of Quenelle in this army. I also really like the way this army is looking now with the catapult, trebuchets. Firing away at the enemy. Again, the Beaslayers of Bastan do look fantastic, and since we have the Beaslayers of Bastan, we should get the Duke of Bastan as well. Bohemond Beastslayer without his Beast Slayers, it just feels wrong. Anyway, we have softened up the enemy army enough at this point, and it's time for the Knights to ride and fly. The thing that we were waiting for is the artillery not to destroy the rattling guns or even the poison wind mortars, but the much more threatening unit, the warp grinders, which would have kept our knights locked down. Anyway, 5 knightly units will crash into the enemy ranks as the sort of second portion of our assault after the artillery. Of course, the artillery will continue firing down upon the enemy as the blobs of knights ride the enemy down. And while Deathmaster Snitch may have sussed out or sniffed out our ambush, just by virtue of not moving towards it, he did move close by, and that is going to be an error that will cost him his life. Alright, we have landed our Royal Hippogriff Knights as well down on the ground below. They are quickly mincing their way through Night Runner and Clan Rat, but in reality they were trying to go after Deathmaster Snitch, who actually got bowled over and carried with the tide of knights. We've been trying to focus the critical enemy units while sort of incidentally damaging other units, i.e. we try to kill the Gutter Runners and Death Runners, as in specifically the Gutter Runners with Shuriken. I really don't care about the Sling ones, but the Shuriken ones are dangerous, as there's a lot of armor-piercing damage on them, and they can and will kill models with decent Ps. But fortunately, it's going fairly well by the looks of it. And not so much for Deathmaster Snitch, as we cleared out the clan rats that were guarding him, and he is down to like 10% of his HP. It almost seems weird to have the Royal Hippogriff Knights be on Hippogriffs, but the Lord be on the Pegasus. He's just got to rank up to level, I want to say 14, 18, whatever it was. And then he'll be good with one of these guys as well. Anyway, one more hit and Deathmaster Snitch will fall. And it looks one of the Royal Hippogriff Knights will deliver the final hit, and then they stand up to pose, rather than sitting there. Because of course they do. Anyway, our Foot Squires are marching towards the enemy ranks, but it looks like the smaller rat army did not really necessitate it. I imagine if we encounter the Dark Elves, this is going to be a much bigger issue, and we will need to commit all the Foot Squires and all that. But again, if needed, we will transfer this army to Alberic de Bordelot. And then do something else. You have the virtue of empathy, so we could get, well, we could keep the battle pilgrims at the very least. Anyway, we will see. More to come out of this army until, or if, we transfer, depending on how the whole Confederation thing goes. But for now, the victory is theirs, and Deathmaster Snitch is done. Well, not his faction, but he himself. Oh, poor little rat. Alrighty, there we go. Poor Deathmaster Snitch. The Knights Errant sort of ran over his army, and we didn't really need to commit our infantry all that much, but they did stay back and protect our Blessed Field Trebuchets, with the kitchen sink in particular, and doing solid work, doubling that of the other two. Well, if not quite doubling, at least doing very well. And the reason we got all Blessed Field Trebuchets in this one is because the Knights can ride out and dish out the damage, while the Field Trebuchets continue to fire. Isn't it lovely? And not worry about them dishing out, well, additional hurt to our own units. Ransom captives. As odd as it seems to be ransoming rats. Hero action costs, hero action success chance, own characters in region, eh? Well, that... But it's in region.
I have seen your heart.
It's not in province. That doesn't really help. And stock for you. That is not really needed.
Of Bretonnia.
Bertrand already has it, but, the idea of a stalking hippogriff is kind of amusing, though. I wonder if we have any banner or something that we could put on the Royal Hippogriff Knights that would give them stock as well. That'd be pretty funny. Suddenly there's a freaking hippogriff riding Lord/Paladin and Royal Hippogriff Knights in the middle of your army. Anyway, Franciscus, you're gonna have to take Grouse, which I take it is very poorly defended, and should be easily auto-resolved. Yeah, alright, we're good. Alrighty, and we'll occupy. Lovely. I'm sure the rats have a million billion more armies, so we do need to be wary of that. Let's also immediately upgrade the village here. Though, I was about to say, do we actually need the guardhouse? But yeah, if these guys attack, they'll probably attack Guaniar first, or at least I hope they would, because, you know, we've invested in Saint Jacques. Would be unfortunate if we lost it. And I think that's it. We'll save the money we have. We will... Well, I am curious to see what's going to happen here. Do we need to level the Fay Enchantress 1 point? 1 point says no to me. We've also got 2 more turns until the Green Knight is up and running. That's interesting. And we're all the way out here in the frickin' Iron Clawworks. Could we deal with all of this without the Fay Enchantress? Both the nice thing and the, you know, concerning / worrying thing about the old world / old world classic map is obviously it's very difficult to change theaters of war for any individual army, because you're gonna have to cross your entire empire, and unlike Immortal Empires, that doesn't take like 2 turns. It takes a long time, which also makes it feel more realistic and adds to the sort of metagame strategic aspect of this particular game. So yeah, my point is it would take a while to reposition the Fay Enchantress out of Gorbad's territory. I'll have to think about that. Anyway, I want to double check the caravans real quick. You are going to Karazakarak, and the other one is going to Myrmidons? Yeah, I just want to make sure that I remember. We've been to Remas, right? Or have we? I don't know. Berkvar is another stopping point, and Zufbar and Karakadrin, those we haven't been to. And I don't remember if we've been to Remas, but that's all of them. So we gotta visit all the Dwarfen territories, plus possibly Remas. I could have sworn we sent at least 1 caravan to Remas, but maybe I'm wrong, I don't know. I don't know, we'll find out, maybe. Actually, while we have the caravans, do we have any level ups on ya? Yes, we do. You, sir. Definitely get to the hidden stores. And then the other guy, you're rank 10. You were saving skill points for Smuggler's Space and Wheelwright. I guess you're getting them both. Like so. We already have hidden stores, which is the important one. Lovely.
It was only a matter of time.
Alright. And I believe now we are good to end the turn. I'm not going to level up the tech thieves because they have their important, well, tech thievery available to them already. The recruitment is continuing apace. And outpost available. We have a few outposts that we can build, but not while we're about to spend a lot of money and while we still have Vision of Magic up and running. Or Vision of Magic and infrastructure, I should say. Actually, the more territory right now we get, the more territory we can invest in, which would be just lovely. Anyway, end turn. Let's see if the rats move to try to defend their territories. These are all newly conquered from the newly destroyed whichever Southern Realm faction that was, so we're not super concerned about them being well defended. But these ones very well likely are... what? Did I just see you change in terms of your control, meaning an army moved in there somewhere? Maybe. Or maybe I imagined it. I can't mouse over it, it seems. Whatever. Yeah. I fear that the lizards are gonna die. I'm not sure I care that much. The main issue with saving them here is effectively competing for territory. You know how how opportunistic the AI is, and how irritatingly opportunistic the AI is, I should say. They would offer no help to fighting these guys, but then as soon as we've defeated them, they'll send their one army to take territories from them. And frankly, this is all territory we could really put to good use. Plus, we could make a nice base to... Well, I was about to say for errantries to go northward into Albion, but at the same time, Albion will probably be from the northern portion of Bretonnia itself. Not that that isn't a fair bit of a ways away, let's say. Anyway, let's see. Trade gained. Renee, good for you. Good for you, good for you. Confederation, ha. Well, they were dead anyway, so that's fine. Ironclaw works in Yellow Eye. Wait, where was Yellow Eye? I'm not entirely sure, but Ironclaw Orcs got stronger. Go figure. Was this Yellow Eye? I don't know. Spirits of Cesario destroyed. Who did that? Oh. Monte Castello. You should not have done that. Alright guys, what do we think? The Southern Realmers destroyed a Wood Elf faction. Do we cancel our agreements with them and wipe them out? How do we feel about this? I know how the lady would feel about this. How would the Fay Enchantress feel about it? And technically speaking, she isn't, again, in charge of our faction, any more than Elspeth is in charge of Vissenland. But I'm sure we could influence the Duke to coming down here and taking vengeance for one reason or another, even if we don't say it's about the Wood Elves. But anyway, I am interested to hear your guys' thoughts on the matter. And hey, the Tower of the Enchantress is at last complete, and giving us Morgiana's Mirror and completing her quest items. We've already read this, so we don't need to read it again. And a free 5k, I'll take it. Free student is... Wait. Is it the first student we get? Ranked up on the same turn as researching a technology. I'd like to think we've done that a lot. I remember we used to sort of unclick, untick whatever technologies when fighting and then tick them back up. I wonder if that has to do anything. Where are you going? Okay, you're going up there. I was wondering if... Red Duke lost here. I was wondering if they were going to start... taking territories. Yeah, the Wood Elves are taking territories up here. That's kind of funny. But again, this is kind of like us saving them, certainly influencing the matter. I wonder if they're just gonna completely wipe out the Drowned here. They've certainly sent many an army up that way. Anyway, Bilefitch, we are in range of ya. And we could send the Fay Enchantress to you right now, though I fear that we won't have time to at least properly fight this particular fight of this episode, in the sense that it's a major fight, and I'd love to save it for next episode, especially considering who knows if the Fay Enchantress herself will get a major fight in the next episode while everybody else does their thing, so I think I'm gonna maybe wait on that one. I would like to move... Okay, first of all, you, Franciscus, go very close to Vizea, like so. And then, while we have that region bonus, we'll use you to steal tech from Vizea. And then you can also steal tech from Mazuara.
My magic is yours.
And, okay, I thought that was an army, but no, it's just a camp. Alright, success, good. And then you can start moving this way. And what's your chance for success? 68, still not bad. One short of nice, but not awful. And are you an assassin? No, you're a chieftain, but we've seen a level 5 frickin' hero assassinate our, or at the very least wound our much higher level lords, so that doesn't mean much to it. Also, wait. I see characters, but I see no military here. Good. And, huh. Why are you +7? Kind of impressive. Alright, go. And obviously we'll auto-resolve this. Again, newly conquered territories means free occupy. Alright, and go for the Viduse's hours. We'll immediately go into Realm of Chivalry, and we'll immediately start by upgrading Grouse. And go for Salt. Ooh, this might actually give us an additional trade agreement availability. It did not. Well, screw you too, game. What else do we have here?
Yes.
Defensive Alliance, anybody interesting? Cult of Sotek just barely holding on. We know that the Slaneshi will turn upon us the moment that that's done. And how is our allegiance with everybody looking? Alright, so Talzin, we can build now. Kavarok, we're still waiting. Not nearly enough with the Empire and stuff, but we'll get there, hopefully. I wonder if any of our techs increase the allegiance. I guess we'll have to wait and see. You, sir. We want the Eternal... Wait, Wildwood... No, we want Wildwood Wardens, which are 36, not 33. Well, darn. Alright, so we're gonna have to wait another... Actually, not quite a turn. We'll just have to wait until the Fay Enchantress does her thing there.
What is your behest?
So... With the Tower of the Fay Enchantress complete, this gives us Lord Recruit rank, Corruption reduction, more hero recruit rank for Damsels, this is nice, wins a Magic Power Reserve, additional Chivalry per turn, and more buffs for our Battle Pilgrims, and Grail Relics, which, once again, we'll want to have a slightly higher number than other lords and heroes. Well, not lords, I guess, but heroes. Anyway, right. Units. Infantry. What the heck am I saying? I did say I wanted the Sanctified one, and I think it's going to disappear if we don't get her on field, so I think we'll get you on field now. Especially since we don't have a lot of Lore of Heavens right now. We have one Lord with Lore of Heavens, but I want to say no heroes. Though again, I haven't really been choosing heroes based on their lore so much as based on the... traits that they have, which to me makes sense. You're still Virtue of Discipline, great for duelists, otherwise meh. And should we get the Fleet-Footed Friar? Fleet-Footed Friar. Yeah, sure, why not? Alright, good for you, bud. Alrighty, and we got buildings to be building. Landed estate. Oh, I'll have to see it being free. And what else do we want here? This is in the Appuccini Mountains, eh? That's here. Alright, you know what? Let's do Shrines of the Lady, because while all these places may not collect a crazy amount of money, they are all adjacent to each other, so eventually they will be collecting decent chunks of change. Like so. And where is this? Oh, Bearers of Quila will actually most likely be another one of our money-making territories. It may be one that we may want to switch to industry later on. And just to try it out. In theory, I do believe industry does overtake the... oh, this is almost complete. That'll be helpful as well. In theory, I believe industry does eventually overtake the farms. However, every single farm provides us another growth for all provinces. It's not much, but when you have like 50,000 of them, it does help a fair bit. So, and that's why I've been spamming farms and not really bothering with industry. And also, up until now, our public order wasn't like the best. So we wanted to make sure that we put that to use. Anyway, funnily enough, we don't need the Shrines of the Lady in this particular territory, do we? And we might want to make this a tertiary recruitment hub, so that we have, again, if we need to pump out armies, we're capable of doing so. So we could very well just pop in a training field here in Chinon, which would still give us space to build other stuff, like either the Tailors or the Chapel of the Lady. This thing being temporary here. You know what, build the Chapel of the Lady for now, and then if we want to replace it, we'll replace it later. Ooh, yes. Max out the iron, go for the landed estate, and then you, Chapel of the Lady. Massive Orkel, we are... oh, right, we're going to trade you. Alright, so let's move you guys southward now. Towards these locations. Here, here, and... march stands, please. Oh, lovely. And then we shall trade away Black Chasm for... I believe Castle Quinnell. Black Chasm, Castle Quinnell, go. And again, you'll be willing to give us a decent chunk of change for it, which fair enough.
Of course.
The only minor issue with doing this or major issue, depending on how you look at it, is every gift to the Wood Elves makes the dwarfs angrier and angrier. These guys are at minus 242 now, which ain't so great. These guys are at minus 300. Carcassonne is... we can't even see it. Probably not super happy with us either, let's just say. Not quite as angry at us as the Iron Claw works, but, you know, pretty up there. Minus 342 on Carcassonne. I'm actually kind of shocked that they haven't declared war on us yet. Huh, go figure. Anyway, let us upgrade the landed estate for free. This is not quite free, but should still be upgraded. We will... Do we go for a Shrine of the Lady here? I assume that that since this is across the river, it will do nothing for those territories, so it would basically be just this territory, but it's a decent money-making territory, so yeah. I was gonna say that we do capacities here, which is not the worst idea, but we can still do capacities. What's our paladins at? 4 out of 6? Well, we still need to wait for their traits. Anyway, folks, I think with that, I'm going to call this particular episode here. Next episode, we'll start the day by attacking Bilefitch and the Tier 5 settlement, and full stack most likely at Fester's Spike, destroying them and at least making sure that this area is free of rats, and then figuring out what we want to do with the Fay Enchantress and where we want to proceed or push forward. All the while taking territory as rapidly as possible in the south, or in the west, or yeah, with Franciscus. I was gonna send another army this way, and we may send one of these guys this way. Oh, actually, wait. That reminds me of a very important thing. Leon the Bell, you can now take 3 more Knights Errant, 1 more Mounted Yeoman Archer. Then you can get the... well, eventually you can get the Knights of the Lionhearted, but for now, this plus 1 Paladin plus the Knights of the Lionhearted puts you at 18 out of 20, and then either 2 Damsel, probably 2 Damsels, will put you at to 20 out of 20. These guys are all to be trained up. And with the Knights of the Lionhearted at your... at the head of the column, as it were, you are heading up to save Lewin Leon Kerr. Or at the very least, help Bertrand do it. Alright, makes sense to me. Go, go, go. March stance and travel, sir.
What is your behest? What would you have of me?
And I'll try to remember which one of the... well, if we made a friar fast enough, they could, in theory, keep up with them, but this feels like maybe we should keep them out of it. At the very least, I'll try to keep an eye on any moving items. This gives you speed already. In fact, wait. Oh, this does give you increased mobility. So you're basically base 53 speed as opposed to the 85 speed of the Knights. Again, pretty fast, but you can't keep up with the column unless we get you items. Anyway, yeah, all that next time. You'll head north, maybe brief stop at the Silent Isle to take out the threat of the Red Duke for good. Otherwise, he'll keep annoying these guys. And then maybe these guys can actually do something. Yeah, and I see the Sigmarsheim is attempting to take back Castle Artois and destroy the Warherd of the Shadowgate, which appears to have lost their main stack. So if these guys succeed, that'll be good for either them and potentially us. We shall see. Anyway, I'm rambling because I'm having fun. Anyway, stay tuned for more. Don't forget to leave those likes and comments below, especially the threshold. All glory to the algorithm, possible double episode, engagement threshold. Thanks for watching.